So glad you guys are here and joined us. And so we wanted to offer another, just like I said, just a fun afternoon webinar on how to create a Bitmoji classroom. And so let me kind of go through our introduction. So kind of today's agenda, just kind of go over some of the webinar norms, things that you guys have already heard a million times at this point, but also, and then our facilitator will go over just how to create your own Bitmoji classroom. And then I'll share with you some CTE TEACH resources at the end, and then any other questions that I can answer for you that you guys may have. Like I said, we still have a few people joining us, but if you would like to follow along, and I'm going to put this in chat, you can go to this bit.ly here. So I'll put it in just a minute. I'll put this website in chat for everybody to follow along with. And if you go to bit.ly/how-to-Bitmoji classroom, you can follow along with our presenter today. So, so some of the norms we ask you, if you're not speaking, if you could mute your microphone, that way, if there's any community or any external noise that might be happening around you, or we hear occasionally, we might hear somebody chomping on a burrito. That way, make sure you're muted. And then also, I will be in chat as well. As soon as I find it and pull it up, it's hiding behind a bunch of windows, but I'll be in chat as well to answer any questions you guys may have during this time. And then lastly, just be mindful of your surroundings. Again, just kind of knowing that we are all going to see what's going on. Then lastly, we do record this webinar for CTE TEACH resource purposes. Our presenter will be recorded. And then at the end of this, we will put that on our YouTube channel, which I'll share with you at the very end. And that way you can see this information, but also go back and review it and just kind of be able to follow along with some things in there. So all that being said, let me introduce you to our presenter today. Her name is Wendy McClung, and coincidentally, we share the same last name, but we also share a life together. We're getting ready to celebrate our 10th year of marriage. And she is a phenomenal educator. I've definitely married up. She is a mental health instructor for one of our high schools. She also teaches healthcare careers online with one of our high schools as well. And she is the teacher technology lead for our district, which covers the Colton, Redlands, and Yucaipa school districts. She is leading edge flex certified, which means there's a whole bunch of stuff in that. She could probably tell you more. She is a common sense educator certified. She is Google certified level 1 and 2, and has her bachelor's in psychology. But what I think is the most amazing is not only has she done all of this, but she is also a mother of 8. And to prove that, there's our children there. Everybody's eyes just gouged out. And so that is our kids. And somehow she accomplishes being a parent to all of them, sometimes a parent to me, and above all, being a fantastic technology and mental health instructor. So all that being said, I'm going to turn it over to you, Mrs. McClung. You have the floor.
All right. I'm going to share my screen. So you notice there was 9 kids in there. And so one of those is my daughter's boyfriend. He's kind of like one of our kids too. He actually was a student at my school, and I got to know him, and then I introduced him to my daughter, and they have been absolutely inseparable ever since. So let me get started here. I'm going to see if I can get rid of my little bar down here. Will help make this a little smoother. So thank you so much for that lovely introduction. I want to bring to you today some awesome tools that you can utilize in your classroom, and show you different ways that you can utilize them as far as creating a Bitmoji classroom and creating content and delivering content using just this whimsical way of presenting information and creating curriculum. So without further ado, let's get started. Today's learning objectives is we're going to identify the benefits of using a Bitmoji classroom. We're going to demonstrate adding backgrounds, objects, texts, hyperlinks, GIFs, and Bitmojis. So I'm not going to cover absolutely everything you can do, but it's going to be a lot and enough to get you started and create your own. And then last but not least, I'm going to show you how to share your Bitmoji classroom. And I just also want to say, if I'm looking this way, I have 2 screens. And so I'm not looking away from you. I have 2 screens, and you'll see why in a minute. So
can I interrupt really quick?
Yes.
I'm going to break my own rule because there is such a small group here. I'm going to say if you guys do have questions, please feel free to just unmute and ask them. So normally we do webinars that have like 50 people in them, but because there's just a few of us, feel free to just seriously just ask your questions as we're going through them. Sorry about that. It's all yours.
It's okay. Sounds good to me. In fact, if I can get my students to do this, that would even be better. But you know, it's like pulling teeth to get responses lately. So, all right. So what is a Bitmoji? And simply put, it's a cartoon of yourself. It's a personal emoji that you can use to express your emotions. And sometimes I even use these on my overhead projector when we're in person. I'll have one of my Bitmojis up there and they can see how I'm feeling. So my students walk in, and sometimes like when I'm sick, I might have a Bitmoji that has like a Kleenex or something like that. And I'll say, I'm not feeling so good today, but we're going to move on. Of course, that's pre-COVID, because if I didn't feel good now, I wouldn't even come to class. But you can see there's days where I have like a big coffee mug for my Bitmoji, meaning I'm tired or I'm happy and I'm dancing. So it's a great thing. I love using my Bitmoji to convey my mood. And a Bitmoji Classroom gives that feel of an in-person class in a virtual learning environment. Now, that's not to say you can't use them in class, but with the removal of, you know, that in-person experience, I was trying to find a way to really bring warmth to Google Classroom. I don't know if you use Google Classroom or Canvas or what platform you use, but it was just really hard to bring that warmth and that feeling of you belong in a classroom to my students. So it can be used to deliver content, instructions, expectations, and resources. It's something I like to use every week, and I change mine up all the time because I've gotten so used to using it. I can make new ones every week. You don't have to do that. You can just create something and it can be added to, or you can remove things, but it's a really great way, and it's a creative way to make students feel a little bit more personable. So there's a lot of different things we can use Bitmoji Classroom for, and I'm going to show you a few examples that are really good. This is one I made more recently, and I like to use them to share announcements. And so you see me sitting in a chair here. Unfortunately, my real classroom does not look this pretty. I wish it did. Teacher budget, if I had an unlimited budget, I would have like, it would look like a model home, but you can see here I've inserted a whiteboard, and I just write what it is that I want them to know. And once in a while, I'll also put links in these pictures or give them a little bit more content. But that's one thing you can do, is to share announcements. You can also share your weekly schedule. So if you want to say, this is what we're doing this week, you can also create one. And I'll show you this template later. There's actually a place where you can find all these templates. You can show them what we're doing all week. So if you have a guest speaker coming up, a test coming up, an asynchronous day coming up, you can let them know in advance. And that helps students to become more organized and to plan their time. This was an early iteration of my Google Bitmoji Classroom, so it looks a little different than the other ones. I got better at it over time, but you can see here, there's announcements, but over to the side here, there was a to-do list. This is actually the first one I ever made. And I had parents sign here. If you click this link, it took you to the syllabus signing form, the Google form that parents can sign that they read the syllabus, and then also students right here. So I gave them an assignment right here in order to get that going, get them signing their syllabus. And I also put links in all this, but it doesn't work on the slide that you have. This is just a photo of it, but it was very cool. Some of them were linked to like music and stuff like that. So students can have a little fun clicking around. Again, sharing links and resources. Here, I did the same thing. I kind of gave them links on the to-do list, gave them a little due date. Again, this is a little bit earlier in the year. I was getting better at it. But I also was focusing on suicide prevention. And so I would put in little things that were very soothing. For example, kinetic sand. I had a video of kinetic sand, which seems really weird, but if you actually watch it, it can be very soothing and very grounding. So I would put things like that. Also, this radio played very soothing music. There was a TED talk over here about depression. So I was able to really kind of convey fun things to them as well as just giving them links to resources. And finally, and one of my favorite things I got to do with my Bitmoji classrooms where my students made them. And so I provided them with the content to make them. I told them what they had to do. I gave them the rubric. And here you can see one of my students made a substance abuse counselor's office. And she had to make clickable links. So these are local treatment centers. And she had to put a public service announcement video on the computer. So if I clicked the computer, it would pop open with that video. And she had to put a poster. And I told them, make it feel warm and inviting. And they got a chance to be creative while also delivering content. So that was pretty fun. So I like that. So what do you need to get started? There's very little you actually need. The first one would be a blank Google slide. The second thing would, of course, be your Bitmoji. And I don't know, has everybody created their Bitmoji already on their phone, on the app? Okay, good. Did you happen to install it on your browser, the add-on? Okay. If not, I can show you how to do that. And there's some videos. I believe there is also a video that we can show you how to do that. It's pretty easy. So the Bitmoji extension would be in your Chrome browser. The final thing you'll need is Bitmoji Decor. And I'm going to give you something that you're going to absolutely love. Actually, Chris is going to put it in chat for you. If you go to this link right here, you are going to see something spectacular. I'm going to show you here. You will be able to have access to all these backgrounds. I don't know if anybody else is able to access it. Just want to make sure it's in chat now. If you click that, there we go. Okay, I'm seeing people pop up here. I just want to make sure. I have taken the time to organize all of these files so that you can access all different materials such as backgrounds, rugs, desks and tables, clocks and plants, pillows. It's all there. So you have an entire, I think this presentation is about 300 slides. Yeah, it's 297 slides worth of content that you can put in your Bitmoji Classroom. So you do not have to do the work unless you want to do something different. You do not have to do the work of finding these images yourself. They're here. So this is a little, I want to say it's like a little gift. I'm just like, you know, I can't take full credit because obviously I was collecting them over time, but this is a really cool way to start. So this little gift is going to help you get started. And it's going to give you a launching point, and you can always make a copy for your Google Drive and you can add to it. Okay, so you can always add your own and organize your own. So thought you'd like that. So the way this is going to work today, I'm going to demonstrate how to go through the steps of creating the Bitmoji Classroom. I'm going to be very intentional about being very simple. So some people in the group might, you know, be a little bit more techie than others. So I'm going to try to simplify it to like for those who might just need a little bit more help with the tech skills. But there are also going to be some concepts in here that are a little harder, maybe take a few extra steps. So hopefully there's something for everybody. Now, you are free to try to do this at the same time. You can try to create yours as I'm showing it to you. But sometimes you get too many tabs open, you have a Zoom meeting open, you've got your stuff, and you get overwhelmed and you lose things. Like I'm like, where did my Zoom go? And then where did my chat box go? And so it's up to you. It's as you go through this, if you feel like you want to work on it as I'm showing you, you can do that. If not, no worries. You can always work on it after the webinar, and then contact me if you have any questions, okay? So the first thing I do is I like dual screens. It's my favorite thing. Like I asked my husband, I would like have like 5 screens if I could, just with scattered out, but I have 2, and that helps me a lot. So you either want to split your screen or have dual screens. And on one, you want to have that file that I just gave you with all of the elements. And the other one is just going to be your blank Google slide. Okay, and that's where you're going to create. So this step is optional, but it just makes it a lot easier. Now, the first thing you want to do is find a background you like. And I'm including videos within these presentations. These videos don't have sound because I want to walk you through it with my own, like just explain it. So the first thing you're going to do, let me go here. I'm going to enlarge this so you can see. So you're going to select a background underneath here, okay, on the left menu side. You're going to click on it and copy it. And then you're going to bring it over to your blank side and you're going to paste it on that left bar. And as you can see, you don't need the top one anymore, so you can delete it. And now you have your background set. So it's as easy as copying and pasting what you want. And instead of copying and pasting it into the slide here, you're going to copy and paste it into the bar. That's the only time you're going to do that. So just select a background you like and copy and paste it into the bar. Get rid of your other blank slide and you are set. You can delete extra slides. You only need one. Any questions about that part? So that's the only time that you're going to use that sidebar to copy and paste content into. The next thing you're going to want to do is add furniture and decor. This is where it gets fun and you get to pick what you want. So I personally love just being able to make different designs. So you're going to go down to whatever image you would like, and you're going to go directly to the image, copy, and go over to your slide and paste it. So let me show you in this video how that looks. So you see here, I go to pick a coffee table, I copy it, I come over here and I just click paste, and then I just drag it and I can resize it if I need to. And the great thing is all of this, I'm going to play it one more time. All of this is from here on out is literally copy, paste, and you just move things to your slide. So you obviously you're going to resize it, and I'll show you how to flip it and make objects come forward and backward, but this is all it really is. It's very simple. Some shortcuts in case you didn't know this. You don't have to right click every time you copy something. You can click on the object and click Control-C to copy it and Control-V to paste it. So I usually have my mouse in one hand, and on my other hand, it's like Control-C, Control-V. So I go back and forth pretty quick. But those are just some shortcuts for Google. Now, once in a while, you'll put an object onto your slide and you'll realize, well, wait a minute, I don't want to be standing behind something. I want to be standing in front of something, or I want the desk in front of the chair, not behind the chair. And so let me show you a cool little trick to fix this. So if this ends up happening, get the video going here. Let me start it over. So you see here, I'm sitting and I put in a chair, but the chair is in front of me. So I click Control down arrow and it puts the chair behind me. And then I just sit myself in the chair. So you hold down the control button and you push the up arrow to bring it forward or the down arrow to bring it backward. And you can do it over like there, it's basically, this is layered. So you can, sometimes I have to push down a lot to get it where I want, but it usually works pretty well to do that. So bringing an object forward is Control up arrow, bringing it backward is Control down arrow. So again, you're going to repeat the process of copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, right? Now, some cool things you can do. Number one, you can take a picture of your actual classroom and then just add flair to it. This is what I did here. This is my actual classroom. I wish I had all this pretty stuff in my actual classroom. It was very bare and basic. So I just added my Bitmoji, a rug, and some banners to it. Look how pretty it looks. Now, obviously, this is just an example, but if you want students to see what your room actually looks like, and if they've never been there, it's a cool way to introduce them to it. Another thing you can do is you can add text to your slides, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So as you saw earlier, I created some announcements for my students. And so I want to show you how I went about doing that. And it's really easy, but I want to just make sure everybody is on the same page. So as you see here, I have inserted in a whiteboard, right? And that's where I'm going to put my text. So all I have to do is click Insert Text Box, and then just drag my text box over the whiteboard and type on it. And that's it. It's just, and it's gonna come in front of that because it's gonna be a layer. So very, very simple. You just add a text box over whatever you want to put text on. Or it doesn't even have to be a whiteboard or a chalkboard. It can be any object that you have. So some people like to put like computer screens and then write what, click this if you want to access Google Slides, or click this and, put a binder and this is your resources for here, can be any object. It doesn't have to be a whiteboard or a blackboard. Now, the next step is a little more complicated. Let's say that you find something you love. You like, for example, you teach medical classes and you need a skeleton or you need a body part and you want the students to have that, but it's not on my slides. So you find something, but you go, you know what? I don't want this background because it's going to look weird. You don't want a like an image with a background. You want a plain image. So there's a program called Remove BG, and it's really easy to use. You just have to save the image to your computer, and then you put it on this website and it will automatically remove the background for you. And I'm going to show you what this looks like. It's a few steps, which is why I'm saying it's not hard, but it's just a few extra steps to remember how to do this. So let me go to the video here. You can see I found this really pretty plant, but I don't want that orange background because it's going to look funny. So I'm going to save the image on my computer. I just put it under downloads. I'm going to go to removebg.com and upload it. I don't have to do anything else. It takes care, this does it automatically. And then I'm going to go ahead and download it. And I'm going very fast here, but I'm going to walk you through it again. And then insert it as an image. So you see I had both images there, and then you can resize it. So let me walk you through that one more time. I feel like that one's a little harder. So again, let's go back to this. So again, find the image, save it to your hard drive. Put that there. And then going to removebg.com, click upload the image that you just downloaded. And then this part, you don't have to do anything. Just does it automatically. So now I go to the download button. Now it's downloaded onto my hard drive. And now I'm going to insert image, upload it from my computer because now it's on my computer. Find it, resize it, and pop it in. It is a free website. Great question. Absolutely free. So easy to use. So again, if you're teaching something and you want to be able to take out that background, you can still do that. It's not a problem. You just have to use that website. Any questions? That one's, like I said, that one's a little harder, but I've included the video and the steps. So hopefully that'll make it a little bit easier for you. All right. So this is where it gets to be a little bit more fun, in my opinion, where we start to hyperlink things for the students to click on, because although you love to create a beautiful aesthetic for them, you want them to be able to interact with it. And so the first thing I'm going to show you is how to make an object a clickable link. So let me open this video here. And you see here, I chose the llama just because I wanted a llama in my classroom that day. And so I'm clicked on it. So you see the blue box that goes around it, showing that I selected that llama. Now I went to a website and I just picked one that was like a page about llamas on Britannica. So I'm going to copy the link. I'm going to make sure that my llama is highlighted, click the link button, and paste the link on there. And now every time that someone clicks on it, they'll get that drop down. Boom, done. So easy, right? So again, going back, it's just clicking on the object, finding that link button, and putting your URL in there and then just putting done. It's real simple. This also works for text. So let's say that you want to create text with a clickable link. It works the same way. So let's say that I want to have a video that says welcome, and I have my text here. So but this time instead of clicking on it, I highlight it, go to that link button, paste the link for the welcome video in there. And now if you hover over it, you can see it's a YouTube video. So it's just highlighting the text or clicking on the object that you want to link before you click the link button. Any questions on that? I'm giving you a lot of information today, so stop me if I'm going a little bit too fast, or if you missed something that I went over, but you just kind of like needed it again, let me know, because there's a lot of content here.
So are you going to provide us this video so we can follow along as well?
Yes.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And of course, if at any time you want to email me, I'll also give you my email address. Happy to meet with you or whatever you need to get you going. So it's a lot, like I said, it is a lot of information. So now you can add audio many different ways. I'm going to show you a way that's very basic and very easy, in my opinion. Now, so you can record it on your device and insert it as audio or add it as audio. But I'm going to show you a website called Vocaroo, which it seems to be a very easy way to do it. And Vocaroo is free and it is really simple. And this one does have audio. This video does, because I want to show you how it works. So you can easily record your voice on this website and provide the link to an object. So for example, if you want to give video instructions to your students, you can actually, sometimes I'll put a little audio button or a little bubble coming out of my mouth, and they have to click it. And then I actually, then it takes them to the site where they can hear the audio file. So let me show you this. Hello, my name is Mrs. McClung. Welcome to my class. This week, we are learning about llamas. Hello, my name is Mrs. McClung. Welcome to my class. This week, we are learning about llamas. Okay, so you could see there, that looked a little complicated. Let me go back and break that down for you again. So Vocaroo, I'm recording my voice on Vocaroo at this point. Hello, my name is Mrs. McClung. Welcome to my class. This week, we are learning about llamas. And once I do that, I'm going to click share. I'm going to click the stop button, and then I'm going to click share and save, where I'm going to copy. This is now the link to that audio file. So remember before when I said like you could link it to different websites, this actually creates a website with that audio file. Does that make sense? So instead of having content, you're going to hear audio. Again, this is only one way to do this. If you don't like the fact that it pops up on another website, you could record your voice, add it to your Google Drive, or add it a different way. But I figured this would be a really simple way for teachers who kind of just needed something easy and very accessible. So let's go ahead and keep watching. So I've copied the link here. And then I click on myself, and then that link button again. And I paste in my URL for the Vocaroo. And if they click it, they have to push the play button. And then there you go. Hello, my name is Mrs. McClung. Welcome to my class. This week, we are learning about llamas. So that one, if you, I can show you if you'd like to learn other ways to do it. I'm happy to email you some other suggestions. I'll probably create a follow-up video, but that's a good way to do it. It's just using Vocaroo. It's very easy and it's free. Hello, my name is Mrs. McClung. Except for I don't want to listen to it again. Okay, so this is something I struggled with, and believe it or not, it was Chris who showed me how to figure this one out, because I know he has an extremely, he's very bright. I don't know how he knew this and I didn't, but I didn't like the fact that I had to scroll through many, many Bitmojis to find one that stood up. I didn't like that. I wanted to find one that stood up because finding a full length one is a little bit difficult. So easy enough. It's very simple. All you have to do is type in the word pose, P-O-S-E. And look, they all are standing up and they're all full length. So go figure. So I just drag and drop my Bitmoji in there, and there she is. So the word pose is a key word if you want a full length of view, okay? Otherwise, you're going to be scrolling and scrolling, and it's going to waste your time. And we all know as teachers and educators, time is very precious. So this comes off of that Bitmoji add-on there. So when you click the extension button, you click and you search up pose, that's what you're going to find. And I just pick one, and I can either right click it and paste it or just drag and drop it. So any questions on this? Your keyword is pose. So every so often I have something really cool in my classroom, but I don't want it to face the way it's facing. I want to flip it. I want to flip me. I want to flip an object so it's facing the other way. So this is how you do that. So here I pasted in a chair. And as you can see, that chair is kind of facing the wall, and I want to flip it toward the middle of the room. So I'm going to right click it, go to rotate, and go to flip horizontally, and it just flips it the other way. So it's a right click. Let me play that. Just go over that one more time. So pasting the object, right clicking it, going to rotate, flip horizontally. That easy. So that just rotates an object to face the other direction for you. Now you can flip it vertically too. You can like flip it on its side, but usually people just want to flip horizontally. So, and if you ever flip it the wrong way and it's upside down, you just click the undo button. That undo button is my friend a lot. All right, so I'm going to show you how to add a GIF to your or a GIF. I've heard it said both ways. Chris is going to correct me.
It's GIF.
It's GIF. See, I said it as GIF and someone corrected me, and I went, I'm pretty sure it's GIF. So, okay, it is now clear.
It stands for Global Interchangeable Format. So it's GIF.
See, then now I'm going to have to go back to that person and tell them what it really is. So, okay, so GIF is an image that moves, and I use these a lot. I love using things that go into motion. I'm looking, I know it looks like we have at least one medical teacher in here. So showing how something flows or how anatomy works. I mean, you can use it for pretty much anything. For this one, I'm just adding a very simple GIF into my classroom, and I'm using the website called giphy.com. Now I'm going to give you a heads up. If you click on this website in front of your students, there might be some things that they probably should not see. It's not necessarily a student-friendly one. So don't add these things in front of students. Do this because you'll have to filter through them a little bit. But it's not bad either. It's just I was scrolling through and I went, So I just wanted to give you that heads up. And let me show you how to go ahead and do this. So I want to add something extra to my board here. Okay, a GIF. So I go to the website, giphy.com, and I found this cute little heart, and he's waving, he's saying hello. And I love the fact that he's a little bit animated there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on him, and it takes me to this spot right here. And I'm going to go up to copy link, and then I'm going to get the GIF link for him. And I'm going to copy that link. Then I'm going to go back, insert image, and instead of going to my computer, I'm going to go to by URL. So now I've got the link to that Giphy and I'm going to put it in there. So by URL, and I'm going to paste it in. And there he is. Hello. And then of course I have to resize him because he's huge. Put him right on my bulletin board there. Now you have an object that moves on your Google Classroom. Isn't that cool? On your Bitmoji Classroom, you can animate things. I have a little like llamas that jump up and down. I have all kinds of really cool things. So you will be able to find an item. You could just search in the Giphy bar, like up here, I searched the word welcome, and I'll show you one more time. I searched that word welcome up here. So whatever you would like to search for, you can find. And then copying the link and then inserting it. Any questions on that? No. Okay. So I'm getting to the end here. I would like to show you, you can share this as it is with all the layers, but I don't like my students to move things around because once you give them a copy of something, they can delete it. And you know how students get, they start clicking on stuff and I accidentally deleted this and I don't know what it was. So I like to give these to them as a website. And let me show you how to do that. It's pretty easy. So let's say I'm finished with this and I want to give them the link to the website. I'm going to go under File, Publish to the Web, and then I'm going to click Publish. And it's going to ask me if I'm sure that I want to publish it. I say yes. And there's your web link right there. So I'm going to copy it and you can give it to the students, but I want to show you what it looks like when it's a website. So now students can't click on, they can click on the links, but they can't move around the objects. It makes it a lot easier for me. If you want to edit, the only downside is if you want to edit it afterward, you have to generate another link for it. So let's say you go through it and you go, oh, I messed this up. You would have to fix it on your slide and then go through those few clicks again to get a new link for it. So it does not change it in that way.
So if we put this like in our Google Classroom, that means the students can actually move the stuff around?
Not if you put it as a website.
Oh.
So that's why I like take those extra steps to get, and so instead of clicking like add, you know how when you attach a file, it says add, and then you go to your Google Drive and you select the slide. Instead of adding a slide, you add a link, and that link is your website link that's in this video here. So you'll just get you'll click publish to the web, click publish, and then say okay. And right here, that's the link you want to share with them, because then they cannot move objects around on your slide. But they can still click on the links and all the other things you have in there, but they just can't mess up your classroom. That makes sense? Okay, very good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get this wrapped up. There are some links here with information. There's some Bitmoji Classroom icebreakers. If you go back to school, there's a template that lets students decorate a locker to show off who they are. There's some ideas for teaching languages using Bitmoji Classroom. And this is a great gift, another great gift. This beautiful teacher, and I actually messaged her on Instagram because I like her so much and told her thank you so much. Her name is Kayla, and she has pre-made a whole bunch of templates. And all you have to do, I have to show this to you. All you have to do is search for what you would like, or you can just scroll. Look at all this. And they're beautiful. For example, she has let's see here. She has a holiday Bitmoji Classroom. Watch this. You always want to make a copy because she's sharing from her Google Drive. So it takes a minute because it's a lot to copy. But I use these all the time. That's how I got really fast at it, because I usually like to make my own, but if I don't have time to make my own, I use Kayla's. And look at this. She has created these beautiful little classrooms. You just take her out. I hate to do it, but you have to take her out and make it yours. but she shares these for free, but she does have a donation link if you care to donate. But holidays are a lot of fun. She has all these different ideas. So I gave you the link to her website there. And what I would recommend, if you want to use just one of those slides, make it, copy and paste it into a new document or a new slide, because otherwise it's going to pick up all the slides. So you just want to use just the one. And then there's a link on 15 ways to use Bitmoji Classroom. So leaving you with a lot of information, but feel free to reach out to me. I know that you probably would have questions in the future. Then my email address is right here. And I want to thank you all. Thank you for having me, and I appreciate it.
And so let me kind of share with you, she shared a couple of resources that were for specifically for Bitmoji. For CTE Teach, we have a ton of resources as well. We're on Twitter, and then we have podcasts that are on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. But also our YouTube page is really robust. And so if you go to our page here, we have stuff that's for like how to do YouTube uploads, how to do closed captioning on YouTube stuff, how to create your own Google site. We also have stuff that's teaching specific. So let me go to our teacher induction programs. Not that one. I actually want to click on the list. We've covered things that have to do with CTE. We've discussed diversity in the classroom. We've gone over school culture, classroom management. And so what I really like about these is these are trainings that we've done for our district. But if you click in here, this video is broken up. So if you want to like jump to a specific section of the video, you just click on it, it'll take you there. But also we have all of the slides available for each of these trainings that we've done. So if you're looking to do training with your teachers, if you click on these are all available for you absolutely for free. But speaking of CTE, and some of you might not know what CTE Teach is we are a state-funded program that and I am the Southern California coordinator for CTE Teach. We also have a Northern California coordinator. And what we do is we pay districts and schools funds to have a CTE mentor. With career technical education, a lot of educators will come out of the industry and will come straight into teaching. And a lot of them aren't able to go through some sort of coaching program, or you guys might know it as like a BITSA program. A lot of career technical education teachers don't have an opportunity to do that. So we will pay funds to create mentors for that. And so we are getting ready to gear up our application window for next year. If you or your administrator or any sites you know who are interested in being in the program, if they just go to ctteach.com, they can see more information about it and then sign up for the interest list. And again, it's completely state-funded program that you don't have to pay us. We pay you to train your teachers so that they could be good mentors for that. And there really isn't any catch outside of that. And then the last thing I'm going to do before I let you guys go is if you could do me a favor, and I'm putting this in chat, just take this quick survey for me about this webinar. So we always like to make sure our webinars are generating and helping you guys who have attended. If you could, it's just a couple quick questions about this webinar and some feedback that we might have. And then that's it. Any questions that I can answer for any of you?
So Chris, did you see the chat? Heidi has a question.
So the video link are going in and out. Yes, so I will email all of those who signed up for this. I will email you the video, which will have the links and all that stuff in it when we are done. But also this video will be up on our YouTube channel. Like I said, typically by Friday, it'll be Friday at the latest, it'll be there. So right. Yeah, so you don't have to remember all of it in your head. You can go back and review.
I'm going to test you later. I'm going to come to your districts, and I'm going to give written tests.
There you go. She'll see those Bitmojis.
I do.
Yeah, and so like I said, and she's always available to email as well And speaking of Bitmoji Classrooms, the templates that you showed, she does have some career ones in there. So she has ones that are medical. I've seen medical and EMR and fire and so there's really neat stuff available for that. So that's it. So thank you all for joining us. And again, this is my contact info. You can feel free to email me or call me, especially if you want to know more about CTE Teach and what we do, all the trainings that we offer. And again, they're all completely free. So that's it. So thank you for coming, and hopefully we'll see you soon at our next webinars. All right, take care.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.